It's good to see you again, Pisces. Thanks for joining me, and for those of you that are new, welcome. I'm Dadhichi from astrology.com.au, and this is your month in focus. Just a brief look at some of what I consider the important transits. Of course, there are many, many more, and you can get a more in-depth analysis of that at the site in text form if you like. This month there are a couple of very important lunations, the new moon and the full moon. Full moon firstly taking place around the 4th in the 9th house of spirituality and higher mind. And then on the 18th, the new moon taking place in the 3rd house of communications. Right now we see the Sun, Mars and Mercury there also in this 3rd house. So this would be the dominant theme for you right now. And the new moon taking place there later in the month is most certainly an indicator that you will be, in a sense, changing your style of communication. And more importantly than that, changing your mode of thinking. These are important transitions for you because, of course, the patterns of speech and thought are so deeply embedded in us that it's often difficult to break those habits. But break them you will, and as a consequence, you will be able to experience some, better opportunities in life, notwithstanding the fact that you have that very, very challenging Saturn transit in the upper part of your horoscope in your career sector, and right now in retrogression. It's not a friendly planet to you, and it is a slow-moving planet, and possibly, as that old saying goes, necessity is the mother of invention. You have to change your style of dealing with people at this time, particularly in your professional area. Mars is having what we call its full 8th aspect, which is what we call a quincunx to, it just has had that quincunx to Saturn. So that may have been the trigger for some of these new patterns or new behavioural patterns that I'm seeing here in your horoscope. Mercury moves out of this 3rd sector directly on the 1st day of the month into the 4th sector, where Venus is also transiting, showing us your need to refocus your attention on your family and your personal well-being and happiness. That's also part of the equation of improving your communication skills. You need to sometimes step out of the current situation you're in, because that itself is a habit. So unless you break the habit of the environment that you find yourself in and push yourself into communication with different people, your style is definitely not going to change. So I think that's a very dominant theme this month. And moving forward, we see a couple of other important aspects. Venus moving to the 5th house on the 8th, with Mars moving to the 4th house on the 12th. So 5th house, no problem, because that is the place of love affairs. But the 4th house and the positioning of Mars there is a bit of a contentious placement, and gives trouble both in terms of your family dynamic, but also in terms of where you live. So as an example, if you're deciding to do some work on the house, to construct, to hire people who are going to serve you to do that work, some problems can occur in that sort of arena, so you need to be careful. Also with your car, the 4th house has to do with vehicles, and this can cause problems with servicing, or the people that you're dealing with to actually manage that side of your life. So be a step ahead of the game, and that's the value of having an astrology reading like this, so that you know exactly where it's all going. There is an important retrogression of Mercury, which takes place on the 19th, just after that new moon, which we talked about in the 3rd house of communication. That retrogression of Mercury takes place again in the 4th house. So that's why I say to you, contract or any sort of agreements that you come to, especially with people that are working for you, you need to make sure you're on top of that, and you read the fine print, and you put your own fine print in there if you're not happy with the performance of these people. The last part of the month is also again focused on this 4th house. So I'm not going to digress too much from that. Sun moves to the 4th house on the 21st. You've got Mercury in the 4th conjoining Mars, and Sun conjoining Mercury in that 4th house as well, 26th, 27th and 31st respectively. So that is the area, that is the dynamic arena that you're going to be challenged with. And of course, if you get the communication right, you're going to be able to deal with all of that as well. I'll be back next month. Hope you'll join me. Don't forget to stop off at astrology.com.au. We've got this month and the dailies and the yearly readings in much more detail, so you can read more into what I've said there. You can get a lot of free stuff there as well. We've got a whole range of oracles that you can ask questions for. And those of you that are game enough might want to have a reading with me or one of my associates, and we're always open to that. Leave your comments below, and thanks for joining me. Till next month, take care. Bye-bye now.